Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So in today's video I'm finally taking up that duped 6-star Nick Fury to rank 2. Now I put it off for a while because I have maxed out 5-star, right? But as I said in my video, my biggest problem with Nick Fury is that I didn't have enough of them, and since we kind of started doing Alliance Wars again, I took a while off for 6.3 exploration, so I didn't really feel it as much, but now I definitely did, because I often use my Nick Fury for Alliance War attack. I often like to bring him in for AQ. I often like to use him for questing in my questing teams, because he is an amazing champion and I'm super happy to have gotten him. And it's only a matter of time till rank 3 6-stars will be available, and he is definitely a likely candidate to go up, especially he's like my best champion from skill class as well. And yeah, so we do have some TFIBs in overflow, and honestly I don't know how am I gonna spend all of them, and that might sound silly for some of you, but I just don't get enough tier 2 alpha catalysts to kind of catch up with my TFIBs. At this point I believe I'm on 7, about to form 8th once again, and I have done a couple of rank ups already, but yeah, so that is a problem I suppose. That's nice to have, and I'm gonna have to figure out a way around it at some point. But meanwhile we're gonna check out a rank 2 Nick Fury in Labyrinth of Legends, and then in the end in Realm of Legends as well, just to see how ridiculous it is. And yeah, so as always we're kind of starting with getting battered. We do want to activate kind of like Nick Fury's real phase. We want to get rid of that life model decoy. Now as he was battering me, I did seize an opportunity to place the inner bleed on Red Hulk, and now we will see exactly how quick we can get him down. So at this point he's at 94% health, and we're kind of starting our offensive here. We have inner bleed active, we have 7 tactical charges. Once we drop another level 1 we will go completely unblockable, and that is where we will want to stay. Now I should have probably tried to eat another hit or 2, but hey, it will work out regardless. So now we can see that his health is absolutely melting away. If you pay attention you can see that the bleeds over there are ticking for like 6k plus, and those are light hit bleeds. So for those of who do not know, basically anything you do with Nick Fury places a bleed in opponent. Medium hits do, heavy attacks place out 3 bleeds, special 2 places some bleeds, and the light attack is the one final light attack of the combo. So if you finish a combo with light attack, it places short but incredibly potent bleed. Nick Fury has ways how to extend that bleed. Obviously Deep Wounds Mastery help immensely with that goal, but basically if opponent has an active inner bleed, then we extend the duration of all of our other bleed effects based on our tactical charges. Basically more inner bleeds, more tactical charges, the longer the bleeds last. And the light attack bleed is insane. As we can see, it's absolutely drenching down the Red Hulk. We are only about 80 hits in here, and he's already nearly down. He's just melting away. And now that we are in Assassin's range, we obviously get a small attack boost from Assassins. We do have 1 mastery point in Courage, so that also is increasing our attack, and then we class advantage in this fight, and yeah, down goes the Red Hulk. Now that took us 102 hits in total, but first like 7 hits were spent basically dropping that level 2 and a heavy attack before we entered Nick Fury's real phase. So realistically it took us about 90 something hits, and that's with no boosts or nothing special of the sort. Now I am running synergies for skill champions to increase the bleed damage, but he is still doing insane damage even without that. And now we're gonna check it out against Star-Lord. So we were finishing Red Hulk basically in 100 hits with class advantage, so this fight should be slightly above 200 hits, and that is incredible speed for 3.3 million health opponent. I still remember the times when these champions seemed basically immortal and you were hardly able to move their health bar. Now rank 2 Nick Fury is about to go to work. We have 17 tactical charges, we have inner bleed, we're completely unblockable, and we're going to be absolutely tearing in that guy. The only thing that we kind of want to pay attention that we do bait out special attacks in a timely manner, because anytime you are not striking the opponent basically is a wasted time and your bleeds are expiring. But here we can see that at this point that Star-Lord is already going down. Now we have just kind of like set up ourselves, 60-70 hits in the fight. He's at 80% already, and the damage output is just gonna be insane throughout the rest of this fight as well. And yeah, the more we get into the fight, the quicker it seems that the Star-Lord goes down. At this point we had 3 inner bleeds as well that do decent damage by themselves, but obviously the light attack bleeds is the thing that we are looking for. The small advice for Nick Fury players would be that sometimes you want to kind of ignore the first medium hit and start the combo off with a light hit, because that kind of lets you have more light bleeds active at a given time, and then you can use your level 2 to kind of like put that chunk of 4 bleeds on to gain a new inner bleed passive. So ideally you want to only be kind of doing light combos up until the point where you reach level 2. Then you apply a new inner bleed, and again just go on with your light attack combos if possible at all. But it is fairly feasible since you are unblockable. So at the points where opponent is standing against the wall and holding their block, you can just start your combo off with a light attack, and that does help to increase his overall damage output. So 140 hits in, and he's basically halfway down, but do remember that initial 40 hits or so are you kind of setting up your ideal setup, gaining your tactical charges, dropping the level 1s, which how many hits on the combo counter, and then only then after you have set up properly, you're dealing your optimal amount of damage. And even without the bleeds, with that massive Fury buff Nick Fury gets when he goes in his real phase, he is actually hitting hard by himself. So he has some of the most insane bleed in the game, but even if you take the bleed away, man, he can still drop a decent punch. Definitely, he might not be the hardest hitting champion in the game, but he's definitely no slouch either. And yeah, so we're approaching 200 hit mark, and Star-Lord is already at 20%. We're about to go in Assassin's range, so we can definitely see that the damage is fairly consistent here, and that's one of the things that I like with Nick Fury, because there's absolutely nothing RNG reliant. All of your bleeds are guaranteed 100%. It's not kind of like when you finish a combo, will it trigger, won't it trigger kind of stuff. And man, it's amazing. Now I do make a slip up here towards the end of the fight, but we will still just gonna decide to finish the fight off with a simple level 3, because why not, right? Let's check out that level 3 animation. We don't kind of get that chance too often, I suppose. And now once this fight is done, we're going to quickly jump in Realm of Legends to show how absurdly potent that bleed is on, let's say, somewhat normal healthful opponents. Because of 6.3 we already have 350k plus health pools, and those fights seem to be lasting forever. And now it's going to take a while for that Winter Soldier to chip me down, so I'm going to speed it up. And I definitely must add that Nick Fury is my favorite way to farm potions if I'm not running Suicide Masteries, because man, he's just so effective with it, and all the fights seem to be lasting just a mere instant. Either way, now that we have set up here, we are dropping our level 1, so that gives us 15 tactical charges. Pay attention to Winter Soldier's health. So at this point he was at 85%. And now it's just gonna disappear over in an instant. Now first things first, I do want to get an inner bleed in order to extend the rest of my bleed duration, and now that that has been achieved, at a point of 30 hits in a fight he was over 60% health, right? So pay attention how quickly his health drains away. Just check out that bleed damage. It's absolutely crazy. And yeah, there is a reason I love Nick Fury so much, man, because that bleed is so crazy. It's just so satisfying to watch opponents' health leak out like that. So 53 hits, so we got down majority of his health basically within 20 hits. And that's the one thing that can be slightly misleading about Nick Fury's damage. When he gets going, when he has set up, he has insane damage. But in order to get there, typically you have to drop 2 level 1 attacks who are multi-hit attacks. Plus you want to get that inner bleed going, right? So we're going to check out at which point we are set up and how quickly this Captain Marvel is going to go down afterwards. So currently we have inner bleed going with 8 hits, because we did 2 double mediums, medium and heavy attack, and that pretty much is one of the easier ways kind of how to get your inner bleeds going. And now we have 8 tactical charges, Inner Bleed is active. We're dropping another level 1. And at this point, we are at a 39 hit combo. And, well, Captain Marvel is already half dead. But anyways, let's just carry on. So, at basically 40 hits, she had half a health. At 53 hits, she has 11% health, and we can just let her leak out. So the fight lasted 53 hits. However, we did the final 250,000 damage within the span of 13 hits, basically 3 combos. That's just absolutely insane bleed damage. And here we're gonna have another fight against Juggernaut and Rhino, basically kind of confirming the same hit count. And yeah, so the first 30-something, 40 hits in the fight are misleading, because that's the time you're setting up. Also, that level 1 is like 7-8 hits or something, so it adds quite a bunch to your hit counter. But the base idea with Nick Fury is you always need to drop 2 level 1s. You're gonna end up being thereabouts at a 40 hit combo at that point. And once that's done, everything just absolutely melts away. But before the video is over, I definitely must add that I'm overall not too big of a fan of people ranking up champions as 6 stars if they have already maxed out 5 stars, especially not yet, not for most people. Because overall, I definitely do believe it is much more beneficial for everybody's account to expand the depth and like the amount of utility your account is able to put out, and kind of live with the inconvenience of a champion possibly being locked in a W or a Q. However, that being said, I find myself to be in a spot where I do have fairly large amount of freedom with my rank ups. I can focus on my niche rank up stuff like that, just because my account is fairly big. And even with all that in mind, I was still slightly hesitant to pull the trigger. I waited several weeks at this point before I actually took up this Nick Fury after duping him, even though I could have done it basically the day one, had the materials for it, had everything that I needed to do. So yeah, there is that. I definitely do not recommend people with smaller rosters taking up 6-star champions if they have them already ranked up as 5 stars. But that will pretty much do for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed some rank 2 6-star Nick Fury action. I know I'm definitely happy with him, and I'm excited to time when I'm going to be able to take him to rank 3, because he is one of the more fun champions in the game. I absolutely enjoy playing him, and he has been doing an incredibly great job for me as a 5-star, so I'm sure that will be the same as 6-star. But that will do for today. I hope you guys like the video. Hit that like button, hit all the buttons, and I'm gonna catch you guys soon. See ya.